Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out, my old friend Shane McGuigan. We're here at the media workout for Josh Taylor, of course, for the WBSS final, October the 26th. These big fights, these marquee events, pitting your wits against some of the top trainers, is it starting to become routine now for you, is it fair to say?
Yeah, it's becoming routine. I mean, I've been doing it for quite a long time now. Been involved in big fights and stuff, but this is every single fight has its own challenge, and this one's definitely got that. He's got a guy who's a big mouth. He really believes in himself in Prograis, and he's got the support of the American fans and a lot of the American boxers. People like Timothy Bradley. All these guys think that that he's going to win. So he must be pretty decent. So I think the fact that we're going in against someone like that is it's obviously it's interesting, but yeah, it's a new challenge. But camp's been going great. We've moved the camp down here to Kent University. Chris Montero Charat has sorted it out for us. The boxers are all only 200 meters away from the gym. Got great facilities, and it's just a little bit of a change of pace. I think that actually is up their work rate because they're all bouncing off each other. They're living together. They're all eating similar meals and stuff. So camp's been going great, and the fact that Lawrence on the bill as well, and Luke was obviously in a hard fight. So this is it's not routine because I still really obviously have to get up for it and really enjoy it, and everything's a different challenge, and I've got to go and make sure that I'm trying to improve and be the best version of myself. So yeah, it's enjoyable. Yeah.
And you mentioned moving up here to Uni of Kent, it's in Canterbury campus, outstanding facilities here as you alluded to. How much of the move here was driven by a desire to be a bit closer to home, given recent events, obviously?
Yeah, obviously, like tragic events of my sister passing away. The lease was coming to an end on my other gym, and I was going to extend it, but I live in London, but my parents need a lot of support down here, and I think I thought about doing a training camp and moving the facility to slightly just on the outskirts of London. Obviously, this is a little bit further, but we made some inroads in. I used to train here when I was an amateur. I used to use their facilities, and they've always been really accommodating to me. So they were delighted to have us down. They obviously it's massively beneficial for them to be around world-class athletes and see how they peak and train. And there's a lot of sports science in Kent University. So it's just the facilities and the fact that they can do all the testing. They can do. They got brilliant physios on site. They've got it all. So it was a bit of a brash move from myself, but one that's really worked well. So and just it's the pace of life. I mean, Lawrence was travelling over from East London. It was taking him an hour to get over every day, and the boxers were spending a lot of money on accommodation in London. And that's a credit to them. I mean, Luke come down from Hull, Taylor was coming down from Edinburgh, Preston Pans, and they both were renting flats, and that's not cheap, and it's not cheap to have a gym in London either. So it's just beneficial on all parts, and we're very lucky to have this link with Kent University.
I imagine on a personal level as well, your family are delighted to have you a bit closer to home.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's always nice, and Dad can be a little bit more involved because the travel up and down was tiring for him. Do you know what I mean? And he's always wants to be around and sparring, and he's our little gem. The fact that we've got that knowledge in and people like Lawrence and Luke and Taylor, like they all get a chance to sit and just pick his brains, and I think that's one of the most valuable assets that we've got in this gym.
And you mentioned sparring. I heard you talking in another interview saying you've had an American over to spar Taylor because you obviously had Campbell earlier, but now he's out of camp. Who is it, and what did he bring to the table?
We're not going to name names, but he's 14-0. He's got 12 knockouts. He's signed to Golden Boy, and he's a banger. He's a proper.
I think we'll find him from that.
you can. I'm sure you can find him. And he sparred Mikey Garcia for the Errol Spence fight. We made some contact with. We're quite friendly with Robert Garcia because we've been on a lot of bills. When Frampton was boxing in El Paso, he had a guy on, and then and once again when Mikey Garcia was on Carl's both undercards against Santa Cruz. So we made some good contact there and a good relationship. So that he sort of said, "This guy's your guy. He's the perfect guy for you, and he can fly in the morning." So it was perfect. I mean, a lot of Americans don't hold passports, so we had a list of names, and we said, "Oh, they don't have passports, but this guy's your guy." So. And he was happy to come over. He was only going to come over for 2 weeks, but he's been that good that we've extended his trip for another week. So it's very, very beneficial.
What do he and Campbell bring to the table in the sparring with Josh, and how does that differ from each other?
Yeah, I mean, Campbell's obviously he's lighter. This guy's a welterweight, so he's a little bit lighter. He's a little bit sharper with his feet. Still, obviously, decent puncher. Luke can really bang, but just the fact that this guy's a little bit bigger, walks you down a little bit more, and also just in close he's a little bit physically bigger. So it's been a great mix of styles. Obviously Luke hasn't done any work for a good few weeks now, but we've also got a guy called Alfie Price who's just a sharp, fast southpaw that can mix it up, and we've had him in as well. So we've had a blend of styles, and I think just the fact that we've got that, and we've had some world-class sparring is going to be very beneficial. I think it's easier for us to prepare for Prograis than it is for Prograis to prepare for us. I mean, it's hard for him to go and get a 5'11" fast southpaw like Josh. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's got quite a classical American style, and that's been that's what we need. We need to get that sparring partners in, and I think every time I had Josh sparring a guy called Claudel Booker in New York, who's a light middleweight signed to PBC, and he's very similar to Prograis. We were going to bring him over, but he snapped his Achilles. But just him and Taylor sparring when Josh was in New York was like brilliant sparring. But he deals with the American style really well because he's so quick. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how Prograis deals with us.